floating, inhale the sensation, the quality of floating and flowing in your energy body and your physical body, and then float, gather and float and expand, flowing and floating expansion. So your form is a little bit different because it's flowing and floaty, but you can still become as large as possible and floating, flowing, expanding. It's different to expand, for instance, downwards. I often do it with fire, but now it's water and floating. So if you have a massive wave going to the center of the earth. Thank you for releasing some sound with your floating and with your 6 directions and expansions. You can visit right. You can float to the left and expand to the left. You can float, expand upwards, flowing, floating. And you can float downwards through the floor. Float the backspace 500 miles, so all the way to Los Angeles, all the way to Finland. Good. And then decide a threshold somewhere on your floor and float just in front of the threshold. And when you step, when you float and flow across the threshold, you're going to be back on land, on dry land. And let's next go to the quality of, let's do molding. And you can always finish what you're doing. So you never have to hurry to follow me. If you are like in the middle of something really interesting, continue that and you'll join when you want to. So I don't have any authority on that. You go in the tempo that's good for you in your exploration. And remember, you can always unmute yourself and ask while we are in the exercise. Imagine now that you're on dry land, everything starts being, the whole space starts being filled with dirt that has some water in it, so it's like clay. If you ever done pottery, you could imagine there's a lump of clay in front of you that you're forming and shaping with your hands. But the clay, because savi in Finnish, I think, savi tai muta, is everywhere. It's left and right and up and down and front and back. So wherever you move your body, there's a great amount of resistance. Now, I have a lot of neck tension, so I have to be really mindful not to tense my neck too much, otherwise I'll get like really painful headaches. So see if when you're negotiating tension and molding, how much your body could still have feeling of ease, even there's a great amount of resistance in the space. Space is resisting your movement, but there's still freedom, a feeling of ease, and the root of your tongue, your jaw, the back of your neck, and your the front of your throat and the sides of your throat. See if that could be still remain open. Inhale, and the air is resisted. If you're inhaling clay and exhaling clay, you're super being, so you can breathe in clay, but there's resistance even in the breath, while you have feeling of ease, so you don't hurt yourself. Explore molding. You're leaving different shapes. If everything is filled with clay, jos koko tila on täynnä savea, susta jää semmoisia kuvioita, muotoja. So you're leaving shapes into the space where you're moving in this clay. So it's different from, it's not slow motion in a way. I mean, it is slower, but there's the resistance is more important, might be more helpful to find. And try to do simple actions. You could sit down, get up while you're molding. And you can't do this wrong either. It's an exploration in how much, so the space in floating, the space was kind of carrying you. The water was carrying and moving you. Now the space is more still and you are trying to mold and move the space. The space is, or maybe the space is not still, maybe it's actually holding onto you and resisting you. Whichever way is interesting for you to explore. If the clay is still, you are molding your way through it. If the clay is kind of holding onto you, it has a gesture towards you, then you can try to free yourself from it. Look to find enough freedom to not get neck pain or headache or anything. Root of the tongue. If you ever get in pain, you could allow a little part of your neck to float while everything else is molding. And when you are richly in the experience of molding, you could mold one word, yes or no. Also, of course, can speak Finnish. Chai, especially, you can speak Finnish. And allow your inner and outer body to really be in harmony. And then look, there's a threshold somewhere on the floor. When you step, when you mold your way through the threshold, on the other side, you have to hide your molding. So you're inwardly still imprisoned in clay. So oot edelleen sen saven vankina sisäisesti, but outwardly, try to hide your molding. Try to pretend like, oh, I can totally move. There's no clay here. Inwardly, your truth, your inner body is molding. Outwardly, try to hide it. And just explore that experience. It does not matter right now how it looks like. Just explore the experience.